Today we're learning how Sheldon grew a team from 5 to 75 people and raised over 38 million in funding. And you will get the same strategy so you can do something similar with your own community or business. If you only hire for skills, you end up with a toxic team and a toxic environment. That is why Sheldon and his co-founder Jess built Trybe Inc. to help thriving communities avoid these costly mistakes of hiring the wrong talent.
The thing is, you don't need like a massive budget or a big HR department to do this right? Whether you're solo or you're scaling or whether you need any clarity, right? It always starts with, trying to find people who understand what exactly you're doing in the world. So here's what we're going to cover in this video. First is get clear on your vision. So the right people are drawn in and the wrong people are repelled. Define your values is the second point. So your culture is consistent and magnetic, right? And then hire for personality fit so your team moves in sync and not in silos.
Perfect. With all of that, we'll create the game plan so you can hire your next talent. But stay to the end of the video to discover the secret on how to make the whole process feel like you're just playing a game. I think everyone needs to actually start with the vision, because if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter on how fast you're going, it doesn't matter on like how efficient you are. If you're working on the wrong things, it all doesn't matter.
The thing is, when you're trying to create your vision, people start thinking about all these different ideas and stuff like that. But it's really at the core, it is your why. Why are you doing this? What's the purpose behind this? And who is this going to help? Simon Sinek is one of the mentors I've kind of looked up to. He's written this whole book called Start With Why. He talks about this thing as the golden circle, right? The three circles that he have. Most companies start with talking about what they do. Some of them talk about how they do it. Very few of them talk about why they do it. The why is your vision, your purpose, your mission that you're trying to put out in the world. Talking about your vision is an aspiration that people want to embody within themselves. Your vision is something that enables people so they find a little bit of themselves in that, right? In the Apple and Dell example, yeah, you're talking about the features and benefits, but you're not able to find yourself in it. It's just about Dell. But when Apple talks about the vision, it's like, wow, I want to be an aspiring creative. I want to be a rebel. I want to be someone who challenges the status quo.
For Apple, it makes a lot of sense because they have such a big brand and they are really all about branding. And in games, it's the same thing. Like you need to have like this clear thing, like why am I even playing this game? Like what is the hero supposed to do? But why is it also important to have a vision when you're just getting started? Isn't the vision secondary towards just making money in the beginning?
You can start with just making money with an offer, right? But what if you have a great offer and you attract the wrong people to come and work with you? Is it possible that even though you're making money, you are having a horrible time while working with toxic people and you're not actually enjoying it? And eventually the sustainability of your business drops. It ends up being a culture of toxicity where you're always trying to protect yourself and you don't have the psychological safety to keep being in a place where you can increase your creativity and innovation. Whereas if you talk about your vision, right? What is it that you're doing in the world? What's your purpose? What's your why? It starts to attract the right people who want to come alongside that vision. They're not just coming there to make the money, but they're also coming there to kind of enhance that vision. Yes, will we make money together? Of course. Will we create better offers and create creativity and innovation? Of course. But will we also have a great time together where we can trust each other? We can improve our psychological safety and raise it to a standard where we feel safe with each other to raise a hand and ask for help. Human beings are complicated, right? And relationships are very, very complicated. So your vision is kind of like the starting point to start a good relationship. It's like, hey, this is where we're going and this is the adventure and the vision of the adventure I see. Do you want to come alongside me and have this adventure together?
I really like this. How is that connected to building a team or specifically a dream team?
Yeah. So building dream teams is a unique kind of skill set that you have to build. For example, our company, our vision is at Trybe, we envision a world where leaders are transforming workplaces into thriving communities. Now, if you go out there and look at people and talk to them about their work, a lot of people are unhappy at work. They don't think that their workplace is a thriving community. In fact, they dread going there on Monday morning. And we envision a world where we're like, wow, we have this place where, so many people are coming up to work and going, I'm having an amazing time at work. In fact, my vision, taking this and taking it further, is 1 billion people happy and fulfilled in workplaces and 1 million founders creating a happy and fulfilled workplaces. Now, what a beautiful world would that be? Now, when I say this out loud, it attracts the right people who are like, wow, I want to see that world and I want to help build that as well. So when you attract those people, now you're creating a really good kind of dream team around you who all care about this mission, who all care about this purpose, and who all want to make this vision their own why, of why they exist in the world, why they go out there and do this together. And if you have that connection, right, there is a whole nother level of creativity and innovation that gets unlocked, because business is not a solo game. When you're starting in the beginning, yes, you starting out alone or just with a co-founder, but eventually, if you want to sustain in business, you have to have an infinite mindset approach around it, right? Simon Sinek talks about this. Alex Hormozi talks about this. It's an infinite game. That means we play a lot of small games, finite milestones towards the final outcome, but we need to attract the right people to come and work with us so that we can keep growing the business. So to build a dream team, you have to focus on the vision, you have to focus on your values, so that people are like, wow, I want this in my life, I want to be part of this. And that's what attracts the right people in the first place.
It sounds like this mission is really selecting and filtering out the best people for that specific job. This is not something that we can do by ourselves because, as you said, it's not a single player game. If you really want to make some change, you need to have people around you that you can trust and that like believe in the vision as much as you do. So, how do you convince people to gather around this vision that you have?
Think about it. Your vision is a lead magnet that attracts the right people and will repel the wrong people. We do this in marketing all the time. Your vision is the biggest lead magnet that you'll have. Like Steve Jobs had a vision for Apple, right? And that's what attracted the right people. And the thing is, the vision doesn't just attract dream team members, it attracts partners, it attracts collaborators, it attracts sponsors, it attracts investors, it attracts your community members. They see themselves in your vision and they say, oh, wow, I want to come alongside this.
Really like connecting the lead magnet and using the same framework to get team members or even partners in there because it really is the same framework. We don't have to reinvent the wheel over here and just use what already works. Let's say we have this vision lead magnet. What's the next step? How do we make sure that we actually get the right people? If we have this vision that attracts so many people, how do we choose the people that are actually right for our company?
The first step of talent marketing that we have created is this asynchronous video interview funnel, where it's almost like a simulated Zoom call where the person jumps on to the funnel. And on one side, there's a video of my co-founder or myself talking about like, hey, welcome to the interview. Thank you for being here. We'd love to take you through a few questions. And then from there on, they get to a point where we ask them the questions of what we want to ask them. Like, why do you resonate with our vision? Why do you resonate with our values? That way, we're not stuck in all these hundreds of applications with all these chat GPT written CVs and cover letters. Now you're actually getting to see the person. How do they represent themselves digitally? So not only are we seeing, will they connect with our vision and values, we're also looking at their skill set. We're also looking at the communication skills. We're looking at the whole person, and we're giving them the opportunity to represent themselves in the best way possible. Audio, visual, facial expressions, everything captured in there, instead of looking at one written document with a photograph maybe on top of it, right? So we're changing the game a little bit to be like, hey, let's humanize the talent recruitment process. And then once you've done the video interview funnels, you can watch these easily. It's kind of like talent matchmaking, right? It's like swipe right and watch the person who you want to
I love that.
call into the interview, and then you can call them into the interview. You see how seamless and simple this process is?
I want to highlight the gamification elements that you are using in there that just make the whole process so much more engaging. Because if you've ever applied for a job in the traditional way, it sucks. It's boring. It takes so much time. And we are now at the point where we don't even need a resume anymore. And we need to show our skills and our personality and our values by just showing up, by just being ourselves. And I want to go a little bit deeper into the values. What do you do in order to make sure that the values are aligned and that you don't have to go through this painful process on letting them go and just wasting a lot of time for both parties?
Yeah. So values is very, very important. Values are something we share together that becomes a decision-making framework for us because it gives us a shared narrative. It's how we can talk with each other, how we can behave with each other. And it's also subliminal. It's how we know how each other is going to behave. So it creates trust and increases psychological safety. And whenever you have amazing trust as a foundation and high levels of psychological safety, also it avoids this main thing that happens all the time in companies, which is conflict. Let's not try to be right. Let's try to get it right together.
Nah, I like
It's
that.
such a shift.
Yeah, and it seems to be that the values are a little bit like the rule book, right? These are the rules that we are following along this journey, because there are multiple paths that may lead to that destination, but there are different roles that we need in order to get there. The personality is really to find the role within this vehicle, right? At what point do you select for the personality, and how does this integrate in creating a dream team that works well together?
Yeah, this is such a good question, Lucas, because the corporate culture made diversity about ethnicity, like not about having different personalities that have different viewpoints. They were like, oh, let's fill all these quotas. I have a brown person, a black person, an Asian person. That's not diversity. That's just different ethnicities. And you're creating something called an optics culture. From a diversity and personality standpoint, bring in people who have different viewpoints, who have different personalities, because sometimes founders hire just the same person as themselves. And they're like, oh, we all get along. But
I did that
now
too.
you're just going to get one kind of opinion. And of course, in the beginning, it'll be fun because you feel like you're just hanging around with friends because you're just like hanging around with another version of you, right? Great. But that doesn't work in business because you need different opinions. You need someone to be like, hey, what about that thing that's on your blind spot that I'm seeing because I have a different opinion? So you need different opinions, different personalities to be able to help us to see each other's blind spots and help us to embrace the differences that we have as human beings. And through the embracing of the differences, we will be able to create a difference, right? So, and I think that's what diversity should be. It should be about, yes, personality. It should be about opinions. It should be about points of view. It should be about our cultural differences and similarities. You know, all these things should be there. And that's what makes us inclusive. Diversity and inclusion has been bastardized a little bit by the corporate culture because of the optics nature of it. So don't build an optics culture, build an authentic culture. Build a culture where people can be themselves no matter who they are or how different they are, but still feel like they belong. That's a great company. The company is what creates that melting pot of creativity and innovation and beautiful ideas. And there's messiness in there as well. Accept it. Accept the messiness. We have good sides and bad sides and shadow sides and light sides and all of that stuff. But when you help people feel like they belong, no matter who they are, how different they are, it ignites a whole nother level of connection within us. And that's what we're all looking for. Business is another way of connecting with people. And you connect with your team first, right? Build meaningful relationships, trusting foundations. And then from there on, that transcends. And the customers feel that because it shows in the work that we do.
I think that's what we're doing when we're building the community, to just create a space where people feel like I belong. I don't have to explain myself here. Like the people trust me. They know where we're going. They support me, and I want to support them in turn, because winning by yourself doesn't really matter. What's the point of that? The reasons we play these games is because we want to play them with other people, because those are the people that make the game worth playing.
And that's where the groups are gathering today. So if we want to win, it's in winning in our relationships, winning in how much of love and compassion we can show to each other, how much of kindness and generosity we can have for each other. And will there be times where things will be hard? Of course. That is life. That's relationships. Of course. Nothing is a smooth sailing thing. The storms are what makes us stronger, right? But winning is, can I win today by feeling successful? I love this quote by Eckhart Tolle. He's like, you cannot become successful. You can be successful. I can be winning in this relationship by being a compassionate and kind person. I can be winning right now or be successful right now by showing up with my authentic self. We're being grateful and we're creating something purposeful here that will help someone else tomorrow.
As you said, like, we don't have to do this alone anymore. We can play together. We can be all part of this one community. And as long as we're helping each other out and we know where we're going and we have the rules that guide us there, then we cannot lose as long as we continue playing.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about the collaboration. It's all about connection and relationships at the end of the day. And Isn't that the life we want? Like good relationships that we can lean on and wake up in the morning and be like, wow, I get to work with these amazing people. How grateful I am. So if you're a truly good person and you actually care about human beings and you actually care about building good relationships, then be a good person by learning how to be a leader. And the first step to being a good leader is learn how to lead yourself, and then learn how to lead one, and then learn how to lead two, learn from other leaders. And it's all about empowering others. That's the journey of leadership. How can you coach and mentor other people? Be there for them when they need you, and they will be there for you when you need them. That is a great human connection. That's the basis of good leadership. And we can all lead ourselves and lead each other into a brighter and good future.
Yeah, let's empower leaders together. Thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you, Lucas.